Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Dog Trainer Troubleshooting. So these are, real contact forms from real people, and we're just going to talk about how to work through the issues that they are experiencing in these moments. And these are always things that everybody is dealing with. So I want to try to give you, some actual realistic information to actually work through the problems. You can see 1,000 videos online on how to teach your dog to sit and down and come when called, which all those things are great, but those are just commands. They actually aren't really telling you how to problem solve things that actually show up in your day-to-day stuff. This contact form here is from a client who sent in a form, and they got a brand new puppy, and they got it for their dog, and it's not going as well, and in this form as well, this person says that they are, familiar with dog behavior and things, and as I'm reading the contact form, there are definitely things that are being missed. So I want to talk about it. So I'm going to get out of the way so you can see this list, and then we're going to get into it. Okay, so I hope that was enough time. So, I think one of the first mistakes is assuming that your current dog is going to take well to a puppy just because it's a puppy. I didn't put that down in here, but in the contact form, this person said that, they assume just like, the female dog would take to it just like a female dog does. It's a puppy. Hey, like motherly instincts or something like that, but that's not the case. This is a brand new dog. Okay, and so the existing dog is, licking her chops whenever she sees the puppy, rushes her, lunges at her, corners the puppy, and the dog is obviously scared, and it's been going on for 2.5 weeks. This person's husband leaves for work, he's got work trips and stuff, so she's left to handle it on her own, and it's becoming really hard to manage the dogs, and it's especially hard because they're trying to manage a 9-week-old, 10-week-old puppy as well. So, as I'm reading this contact form, we want to think about assuming the worst until we know better. Okay. And the other thing is too, like, it's not really talked about in the contact form, but I would be taking a look at, like, how good is the other dog? How well does that other dog listen? If you're getting a second dog and your first dog is like, again, I'm sure that your dog is great, but if you are like, Fido, here, 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 you always have to repeat yourself. You can't get your dog to listen when you need them to. Like, these things are only going to make this exponentially harder because, yeah, you are trying to, it's like trying to herd kittens. It's just like, it's really hard. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to want to do if you're going to think about getting a new puppy is first having your first dog be like incredible. Okay, when you say, hey, Fido, I need you to go lay down, they go lay down and they stay there until you release them. It's not going to be helpful for you if you tell them to go lay down and you bring this dog in and they immediately run off and try to like interact with the dog. There's a lot of problems with that. So, you always want to make sure your first dog is like at a very high level, because then you don't even have to really worry about training the other dog. You're just worried now about focusing on the puppy. Okay. One of the first things that we would talk to these people with is creating coexistence first, right? There's no expectation in the meeting right away, right? Dogs don't need to meet in the same way that people meet, right? Like, we don't need, if I'm meeting someone, yeah, I'm going to shake your hand. I'm kind of getting into your personal space. But dogs don't need to meet that way. When you bring in a new puppy, like, your old dog could be in a kennel, and then like you can walk your new puppy around and then you can kennel them up in the same room, and that's going to start building like a pack mentality. But, we want to build coexistence. So it's like, I'm going to work this puppy around my new dog, or my old dog. I'm going to work my old dog around the new puppy. They're going to do things like hanging out on place. So I'm going to have my old dog on their bed. I'm going to have the new puppy on their bed or on a leash next to me, just working on seeing each other and like getting a feel for them from a distance, right? Because our dogs have a very powerful sense of smell. Doesn't matter if it's a French bulldog or, something like that, they can still smell, and they don't need to be right next to each other to do that. So by allowing your dog to get the smells from that dog, you're telling both of them that, hey, I have this under control and you don't have to worry about that other dog. Okay, yeah, I know it's new, but we're going to show you through this process that this dog is fine. You don't have to worry about them, okay? But this also goes back, right? If your other dog is at a really high level of training, that means your relationship is also really well. So your dog is going to trust your ability to lead, okay? If your dog's training is like spotty, not so great, again, you have to repeat yourself a bunch of times. Maybe they only listen when they want to listen. Your relationship isn't that well, okay? And then you're going to struggle, okay? So again, getting your obedience, getting your dog just to be like respectful is a top priority, okay? But then coexistence with the puppy and the old dog, creating them in the same room, going on walks together, all of these things, still no interaction, right? But then, you can start that process of, okay, cool, I'm going to like do some socializing with them, and we're going to go into the backyard, but it's not going to look like just like putting them in the yard together, right? It's like, I need to show that puppy that I have that dog under control, and I need to show my dog, my old dog, that I have that puppy under control. So again, this is where really good training comes into play, because I can have my old dog be off the leash. They can just be running around doing their thing, and I'm going to have that puppy on a lead, okay? And I'm going to advocate for that puppy. If my old dog tries to come in, if their energy is too much, I'm going to, hey, no, back up. I'm going to use my leg to create some space or whatever, but I'm going to create a bubble around this puppy. And it's like, hey, you don't rush like that. You can come in when you're more relaxed, okay? But you're not going to be bulldozing into this puppy, okay? And yes, the puppy might want to play, but it could be too much too soon, right? Assume the worst until you know better. So I would be walking the puppy around, letting my other dog smell, and then, if I notice things being nice and calm and relaxed, then I can start the process of like, allowing the puppy to come up and smell, or allowing my dog to come up and, get some whiffs. But then I'm going to be like, all right, that's enough. Go. Like, we want to be very controlled in these moments, because it's what's going to tell the dogs again that, hey, I don't got to worry about this dog. If my old dog comes and bulldozes that puppy and puts that puppy in a weird, like, oh God, sort of thing, like, that's setting a tone for stuff moving forward, okay? And it's going to start to dictate how their relationship could turn out to be, and fighting between housemates happens all the time, and it happens very quickly, and it happens with things like this, just bringing a new dog into the house, and then the old dog is just like on top of them, all right? And then likewise too, people will tend to let the puppy do whatever they want to the older dog, and then eventually the older dog snaps at that puppy, okay? And then, again, how are the household dynamics, if that little puppy is getting, if that little puppy can do whatever it wants, and then that old dog snaps at them, the new puppy, young dog, could go right after them, because, hey, you know what, no one tells me no, and I can do whatever I want. So, long story short, coexistence is always key. Assume the worst until you know better. The dogs don't need to play to be friends. They don't. They can 100% coexist first, and then slowly start to build that relationship up. Okay. Again, you all, I hope this helps. We have a bunch of these, so I'm going to be really making a bunch of these videos. So really, take some notes, pause this a couple of times, think about stuff with your own dog. If you need help talking about this, we do offer one-on-ones, virtual lessons, phone calls. Link is in the bio to schedule your one-on-one. And hope you all have a great day. Talk to you later. Happy training. Bye.